listen. And some of us do want to listen, but for some reason, we just can't hear him speak. God is a God of signs. Just like he gave the rainbow as a sign that he wouldn't destroy the earth again with water, he will always show us signs. Now, before we go into the signs that indicates that God is talking to us, there's some things that we need to know about God. Number 1, God hears our prayer. Psalm 65.
If you have an iPhone, this trick is gonna blow your mind. Just drag your finger over any object and boom,
Verses 2 says, O thou that hearest prayer, unto thee shall all flesh come. The psalmist acknowledges that we have a God who is able to hear our prayer. So don't wonder if God hears your prayers. He does. Number 2, God is always speaking to us. This point was made earlier on, but sometimes repetition is needed to drive the point home. Jesus says in Revelations chapter 3 verses 20, Look, I stand at the door and knock. If you hear my voice and open the door, I will come in. I will come in and we will share a meal together as friends. Now, this verse isn't for a specific people. Jesus didn't say he's only talking to a group of people. He said, if you hear my voice, he's talking to all of us. And God is speaking, and anyone who will hear him and invite him in will be a happy person. Number 3, God always answers prayers. John chapter 16 verses 24 says, Until now you have not asked for anything in my name. Ask and you shall receive, and your joy will be complete. You may be thinking, does God only answer some of our prayers and ignore the rest? The answer is no. God answers all our prayers. The issue is with our expectations. God might be saying yes, but what you want is a no. Because you're looking for a no, you may not hear God's voice. No matter what we think or feel, God always answers prayers. But it might not be what we want, but he surely answers prayers. Number 4, we cannot bully, force, or in whatever way make God answer our prayers the way we want him to. As we have said earlier, God always answers prayers. So there's a popular saying that goes, as long as there's a man to pray, there is a God to answer. But God is sovereign. He can choose to answer in a miraculous way. He can choose to answer otherwise. But just expect an answer, and don't think that you can force God to answer you the way you want. Number 5, we don't hear God because we don't listen. Now, many people do not know what prayer is. Prayer is not just talking to God, it is communicating with him. So this means that we ought to both talk to him and listen to him. Now, most people just pray and leave without hearing from God. Then they begin to wonder why God does not speak to them. So let's make it a point of duty to listen to God after we speak to him. Number 6, we cannot make God speak to us the way we want him to. God cannot be limited to our ideas and our desires. He is our creator, and what he wants the most is a relationship with us. God wants intimacy, and he wants us to be able to hear him every moment. But most people are looking for grand experiences. They want God to speak to them through an angel or through dreams. Imagine this. You're at a conference, and you need God to quickly remind you of something you've forgotten because you're about to make a speech. Or he wants to tell you to meet someone that will help you in your career. Then you suddenly fall asleep and God shows you a dream. And by the time you wake up, what do you think people will say? Maybe you were standing and you just dropped down and the people surrounding you will call an ambulance so you can be treated. Can you see how sometimes you allow God to speak to you? Because most of the time, it doesn't make sense the way we want him to speak. So now that we've settled this, here are 5 signs to show that God is talking to you. Please don't forget to like this channel, share this video, and subscribe right now. Number 1.